Hey, good afternoon. Here in Vancouver, BC. Checking in. It's been a little while. I didn't really plan to do videos. It's kind of like it just happens when, the right everything, all the timings fall into place. I have a lot of, sort of challenges put here by God for me to navigate. And what's up, Tiger? It's okay. You can go sleep. That's my buddy Frodo. Yeah. So it all's come together today. I want to wish you a blessed day, and just try to catch up on things going on. Yeah, things going on. Okay, so God has graced me well. I'm going to say that. Thank you for a lot of good things. I can think of a lot of good things that I've worked very hard, and God has rewarded me to climb out of this pit that I got myself into by putting my trust in the wrong things, the wrong attachments, the wrong people. Yeah, I got sidetracked for a while. So it was good. It was good though, because now I know how to advise people about situations like that. Yeah, like everything's falling into place bit by bit. I guess you could say one of the bigger challenges is this body of mine that I sit in, that you can't see right now. I hope this view isn't too. Let me, try and get you at least a little bit of more background view of the outside. I don't think yeah, I might as well. Okay, I wish I could. I don't have one of the newer phones where I can do a flip view right from my phone here. But I'm going to drive out onto the porch is what I'm going to do. So this body that I'm sitting in, I just broke the stick. It got into some traumatic situations when I was younger. I kind of wasn't too careful about things. Kind of just went a little, reckless is what you could say. Yeah, I was reckless. So, can be good and bad, I suppose. So I made some good decisions. I made some bad ones. I made some good ones. I made some bad ones. But all along, I must say that, I had a hand of protection on me. And I think all along I knew what was, let's see, I don't know how to put it. I knew that my heart was good. I had a heart for God, and it was just that the way that I was introduced to God didn't never returned, never offered return on investment. Not, and that's part of the faith in that belief system, is that there may be no return on investment, but you should be happy with that. You should be happy with your we can have another discussion on Hinduism and how I've come to the conclusion that it's equal to atheism. It's equal to just whatever you want ism. It's equal to those isms, because even when you identify God, there's no there's no fixed version of their scriptural text. And what I mean by that, there's a written version, but the interpretation of it is not codified by any central body. So you can interpret it however you want. So take, for instance, the guru that introduced it to me and to my parents. He had his version, and from his point of view, his version was the version, right? Was the version, the correct, absolute version. But if you go to another part of India, there's another guru that has another version that has a different story. It's not majorly different, but there's variations, distinctively important variations, like variations in the story, variations in the meaning, and some of them get pretty bizarre in terms of sexuality, in terms of sort of evil connotations, dark, and things having to do with devils and demons. There's a whole huge part of the Hinduism just devoted to what's called asuras. They're not, they're not held as the good guys, right? But they're still there, and there's many of them that have, it's just convoluted. It's like mixing a bowl of good and bad, and then sort of, you're kind of bobbing around in this soup, and it's up to you to, go toward the God that, and focusing on the version I was raised with, where they would like I said, they held that they were the version. So they worship a god called Krishna. He's got a story. It's a story that starts before he was born, And it's got all kinds of things that if you want to believe them, elements in the story, that if you want to believe them, they take quite a stretch of the imagination. Like, so for instance, here we go. I'll give some part of the story for any believers that are watching this. They can, think of ways to, believers in Hinduism, I mean, like my former friends or they're not former friends. Let's say you are still my friend. It's just we haven't been out of touch for a while. That's what I mean by former, because I've been pretty much out of touch with everybody for a while. So yeah, back to the little blue boy, Krishna, the one that we were raised to worship, and the one that whose story occurred in the village. Well, it's not a village anymore, but the village where I was raised in India, or I spent a good 4 years of my childhood at. It's called Vrindavan or Brajabasi, or there's several names for it. It's near a town called Mathura, or Mathura, something like that. And then and it used to be called Hastinapur. Actually, Delhi used to be called Hastinapur, which means city of elephants, which I thought was interesting because I heard a story from the Bible the other day that there was elephants in Israel. I wondered if they came from India. Anyways, that's another story. There was armies of elephants that the Israelites came up against. Can't remember which. I can't remember what they were called. But back to the story of Krishna. So the story goes, Kamsa, a guy named Kamsa, was a king. I don't know. It's said, we were taught that it was 5,000 years ago, but now that I'm an adult and I can think for myself, these people, I think if you do your research, I haven't really done like archaeological. I'd love to know. Any of you have a website that will show me archaeological, sort of proof of these stories? I'd be willing to, take a look at it, please. 5,000-year-old. I want to know if Kamsa was king pre 5,000 years. That's what I want to know. If you can show me something to prove that, I'll be, I'll take a look at whatever it is. So Kamsa is said to have come into the picture around this time. A bunch of other characters. One was called Dhritarashtra. So these are like the grandparents or parents of the contemporaries of Krishna and his sort of generation. So Krishna comes up in a generation, and before he's born, Kamsa is king of this territory, ruling from Mathura. So he rules Delhi. Mathura is bigger, I guess, at that time. I think it's more like, within 1,000 years or something like that. Not 5,000. Indians have a way of writing stuff down. It's like, okay. I don't know how it got to be, but I'd like to see some proof before I start believing words that are written down. So anyway, back to the story. So it's prophesied that the 8th child of his sister whose name is Devaki, will be this character, or Krishna, the god Krishna, right? So this is the prophecy. I'm saying it with a respectful way, because Hinduism is a vast religion and culture. Okay, so I'll just say my sister is married to, I don't think he openly practices it, but I have a lot of friends who are in it. But I'll just go on with this story, and I'll try to keep with a respectful tone, because from my point of view, it's a story. So here we go. It was prophesied that the 8th child of his sister was going to kill him. So what he did, he took his brother-in-law and his sister, and he put them in his jail cell, in his prison cell. Okay? And so they're in this prison cell, and then they have a baby. He goes in the next day, smashes the baby on the floor, kills it. He keeps them in prison. They have another baby. He comes in there, smashes it on the floor, and kills it, or stabs it, or whatever he does. And they proceed to have 7 more children. Now, and he kills them all. Now, the 8th child is supposed to be a son, because the prophecy says that it's going to be a boy that kills him. Okay? So that night, there's a dream to the father, to the husband of the sister, of the king's sister, to his brother-in-law. He doesn't kill them. Apparently they're treated quite well as prisoners. I mean, they're having babies and everything, so maybe they're under house arrest or something like that, right? It struck me later, why would you go on having children if you knew that they were going to be killed every time, 7 times, and you went ahead and had another one? Question. Please answer in the comments. So, or give your best answer. I don't know what it would be. As a mom and a dad, I can't figure that one out. So anyway, back to the story. So, when the 8th child, he gets a dream, and he wakes up, and somehow he's told that all the guards are going to be asleep, and that he should take this child and walk. There's a big river that we used to swim in every day. It's called the Yamuna River, or Yamuna River. It's gigantic, and especially when it's a flood season. So it goes all the way from Mathura to Vrindavan, which is a village nearby. So, yeah, he's told that there's going to be a channel in the middle of the river that he can, kind of like Moses, they go across the Red Sea. So he walks down this river in the middle of the night with the baby boy to the village, and he's told that the woman who's married to the chief in the village just had a baby girl. He's to switch the babies in the middle of the night, and drop the baby boy off, pick up the baby girl, and head back. So he heads all the way back to the prison. The doors are still open. He goes in the prison, closes the door, and they wake up. And then comes to his brother-in-law comes in the morning. He's like, "What the heck? It's a boy. It's supposed to be a boy. Why is it a girl?" Whatever. He's like, "I'm gonna kill it anyway. I don't want to take a chance." So he goes to slam the girl down on the ground, and it flies up in the air, slips out of his hand, and turns into one of the goddesses, or a form of the goddess. It depends who you talk to, but that's another topic. But one of the forms of the goddess pops out and goes, ha ha ha, you lose, the boy's already been taken somewhere else. And he's safe and sound. And you're dead anyway. You can't do anything about it. Boo-hoo. And she disappears. Okay, so that's how Krishna is born. And then he grows up in that village as a cow herds, a village boy, tending cows. So the whole story is about him growing up in the village. And then comes, he puts out a decree that all the male children in the surrounding region are to be killed that are born, newborn babies. But somehow Krishna is far away enough, or not sure exactly how Krishna avoids death at that point. Maybe it's only because the village isn't that far away from Mathura, like 30 minutes by horse cart. I've done it in horse cart before, and in pedal power, and car too, but I never paid attention to the distance in car. But in horse, it's about 25 minutes, 30 minutes. So then the story takes off from there. He eventually does get wind of the fact that his nephew Krishna is a kid in the village, and he starts sending all these demons to go and kill him. So these demons, they're powerful demons. But actually at least one of the demons becomes a good guy, and another one of the demons is a good guy that turned bad. And so you have a donkey, a demon that comes as a donkey, and a big donkey, and tries to kill him, and he swirls it up in the air and throws it up in the trees. And there's one that comes as a snake, and he holds his mouth open, and then Krishna goes inside of his mouth. First all his friends do, because they think it's a cave. It's like a lure. He makes his mouth look like a cave. I don't know how we were introduced to it. He's just a snake sitting there with his mouth open. And I'm gonna do a weight shift. I have a swollen foot, and I have to. My right foot. I don't know what it means, but I've been told it means something. Okay, so that is my room, bedroom / living room / sofa / see, that's the ceiling lift. There are the supplies, shelving. There is the sofa over there. It's a fold-out sofa to a bed. There's my bed, stinky hospital bed, but it is what it is. I've rebuked and discarded any ill effects of it, having a stinky bed, hospital bed. You can't see it, but my computer, there's the screen. It's got the good old hummingbird on it, and the microphone, and a couple of photo spots, the TV. Okay, brief. There was the kitchen back there too, and mentioned in my paintings. Okay, onto the porch. Here's the porch. So I'm gonna tilt it up a little more. Oops. Bumped into Frodo's chair. Frodo's in the other room. I might go and show you him too. Just a bunch of junk, really. Whoops. I'm crashing into something. See, I'm going to leave this on because this is how you have to drive in a wheelchair. Yeah, I have a wide berth, and then I have, come on, wheel. The wheelchair's lacking power. Okay. Okay. It's a little difficult for me to see, but I'm going to try to show you. Look at these towering tomato trees. Like, they're climbing cherry tomatoes. They love to grow, so I'm obliging them with some fertilizer, banana peel. Wow, it's the best, man. Soak some banana peels in water and water your plants. It's like steroids. They love it. They love banana peel water. Look at my jungle out here, all from banana peels. I have some wonderful people that take care of my plants. Darn it. Yeah, okay. I can't see very well, but we have a grass for Frodo. That's our lawn. We have some pepper, jalapeno pepper there. We have some oregano there in the orange pot. I believe, or is that basil? It's oregano. We have some, it's just a flowering plant. And we have a mint, really nice mint plant that grows like some variety of mint. Somebody in a fancy car showing off the speed. Wow, you're a man. You're a lady. Peppers, tomatoes, just a plethora of peppers and tomatoes. And basil and other herbs. Okay, you have a tour of the garden. And here, wait, I'm going to show you all the little green, I don't know if you can see all the little cherry tomatoes are like grapes, right? Clusters. It's getting so heavy that the plant is falling over every which way. But yeah. Oh, I forgot to show you. Boom. The pièce de résistance. That's it's like really towering. They got brothers. The brother is really shooting for the sky there before he's about to do his flower. But yeah, we got the brothers there. That one there, and then the other one. Yes. Look how tall they are. All the way down to the floor. Boom. That one's tall. It's like 6 feet tall. Literally in a little tiny pot. Like how does it even do it? A little tiny pot. Alright, I'm gonna get back to my story. Flip this thing around. Okay, that's my introduction to the porch. Oh yeah, Frodo's got some perching areas right there where he can climb up there and there's some peppers on the big old pepper plants on the ground. I don't know, Frodo likes to nibble on the peppers. Oh, and the beets, he loves beet leaves, so the poor beets got eaten alive by our stinker of a cat. They were protected, but here, look. Someone took the cage off the plant when I was having a bad day. So God be praised. I'm recovering. Let's see. coming back to my... Okay, back to this view. Hello. I was telling the story of Krishna. So, any of the believers in the, that are Hindus, I guess. I don't know if some Hindus worship it. I guess they all have Krishna up there pretty high in there. But some of them don't consider him to be the number one. And but the ones that we grew up with, definitely did consider him to be the number one. Glasses look crooked on me. Yeah, that's better. So in the story, he's growing up, and his uncle is throwing these demons at him. The snake that all the kids, his friends, they're playing, and they will walk in the open mouth. They think it's a cave, and he knows it's the demon, and so he follows them in there, and then the demon closes his mouth, and he's like, ha ha ha, got you. And then the little boy, Krishna, like, I don't know, in this story he expands himself and blows up the snake. And then there's another one with the snake, but he dances on its head. And it has, like, I don't know, so many heads. And it's like a big old demon, and then it becomes a good guy. Or it was a good guy, and then it became a demon, and it went back to being a good guy. So they got a lot of stories like that. Anyway, then he becomes it's all the demons, they can't kill him. He like defeats them, and then he ends up killing his uncle and becoming a king. And I guess he defeated other kings, and he had like 16,000 wives at one point, and the story holds that he expanded himself into 16,000. I laugh because I feel silly saying it. And for you believers, you just kind of suspend your logic for a little, and maybe it's an allegory, and maybe no. The story says he had 16,000 palaces. In each one, he had his wife, and in each one, he was himself. So, no, you can't explain it. Let me see the 16,000 palaces. I want to see that. Where's all their relatives and their, come on. There must be a whole town. There must be a whole like province of India that's descended from Krishna. Like seriously, like. Anyway, logical. Be logical. So. And there was stories of him, like, there was one story where he climbs, when he was a boy in the village, the girls are swimming in the lake or in the river, and he climbs up, he steals all their clothes and climbs up a tree, and it's silly, happy, childhood story. Not really a child, more like a teenager, and then he forces the girls to come up naked to get their clothes. I've seen maybe I'll include it on this video. There's a temple, probably not the only one, in South India that has like the carved on the side, like all these naked girls, like trying to get their clothes from Krishna, sitting in the tree. So yeah, stories like that. You're like, okay, is that the God that oh yeah, and then he dances with the wives of his father's fellow villagers. I don't know. I know they were married men, but the story says that he didn't consummate with them. He just danced with them and graced them with his presence in the moonlight, and they used to call it the rasa dance. And Rasa, unlike in Spanish, rasa means pastime or flavor. It's like one of his flavors was, or his divine Leela, they call it, like his activities. Wow. Yeah, that was so ingrained in me as a child that it was very difficult. It was very difficult to let go of the Hindu stuff because, yeah, they pounded it every day. These things they had us recite every day. I hope you can hear me. There's the sound of the water down below. There's a stream that's flowing. Yeah, anyway, I told a lot of the story. There's a lot more, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and compile this and post it. So I have a video for today. Catch you later.